Hello, you're watching News Mongolia and MNB World. I'm your host, Ayun Delgado Pasenho. Our top stories: 2021 presidential election campaign to last 15 days. Temporary pandemic prevention regulations for Mongolia's 2021 presidential election will be implemented starting from Tuesday. 634 more confirmed cases, 2 additional deaths reported. For other news, stay tuned. On Monday, the General Election Commission of Mongolia presented mandates to all candidates running in this year's presidential election. Candidates from the Democratic Party, Mongolian People's Party, and the Right Man Electoral Coalition were accompanied by their campaign managers when they received their mandates.
The General Election Commission of Mongolia presented a candidate's mandate to Democratic Party candidate Erden.
Appreciate that the General Election Commission made a decision in accordance with the law and regulations. This election is a very important decision. It is not about electing an individual person to serve as president. It's about choosing Mongolia's stability.
The Mongolian People's Party's candidate was accompanied by his campaign manager and the General Secretary of the MPP, Amar Isatla.
I wish the General Election Commission staff every success. Not only the Mongolian people, but the whole world is watching how Mongolia will conduct its presidential election. This election will be transparent, open, fair, and timely. The General Election Commission has an important, big role to play in its successful organization. Good luck.
All 3 candidates have already announced their campaign platforms. MPP candidate Khurelsukh is running with the slogan "Mongolians are the owners of Mongolia's wealth," while DP candidate Erden's campaign slogan is "Mongolia without a dictatorship." Ikhpat, the candidate from the Right Man Electorate Coalition, is running his campaign with the slogan "Mongolians can." According to the law on presidential elections, campaigning will last for 15 days and must end before midnight on June 8, 24 hours prior to Election Day. This year's campaign period is very short compared to those of previous election years. The 3 candidates will meet with voters in 21 provinces, 330 SOMs, and the 9 districts of Ulaanbaatar to present their campaign platforms. As the campaign period is relatively short, candidates will need to visit 2 to 3 provinces a day. Voting will take place on June 9th from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Overseas voting will take place on May 30th to 31st, and on June 8th, early voting with sealed ballot boxes.
Temporary regulation on the prevention of the pandemic during the 2021 presidential election of Mongolia was approved. The regulation will be in use starting from May 25th. The rules specify the rights and responsibilities of parties, coalitions, and candidates during the election campaign. The regulations to prevent infection during the election states the following: to protect human life, health, safety, public interest, and prevent any infection. Be transparent and accountable. No discrimination or stigma. Ensuring interagency cooperation. Respect human dignity. According to the regulations, the premises and halls of meetings, conferences, and gatherings will be pre-cleaned and disinfected during the campaign. Each participant must wear a mask, and the distance between people must be at least 1.5 meters. Chairs for participants in meetings, conferences, and outdoor areas must be provided, and the distance between the seats must be at least 1.5 meters. An employee of the election administration, a candidate's manager, or an aide shall be responsible for measuring the body temperature of citizens from a distance and disinfecting their hands. Meetings with voters shall be held for a short period of time. Single meetings, conferences, and gatherings shall not exceed 2 hours. People with symptoms such as fever, cough, and vomiting should be advised to seek medical attention and return home. If a voter does not have a mask, he or she must be given a disposable mask, and masks with an advertisement will be prohibited. When promotional leaflets are distributed to households, they should be left outside the door without making contact with any family member. The cabinet meeting also approved a portable sealed ballot request form. Voters who are isolated in an isolation ward, hospitalized, isolated at home, or working in a special condition may request to cast their ballots in a sealed portable ballot box upon request. The General Election Commission will provide detailed information on the temporary regulations. The Ministry of Health reported that 634 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed nationwide in the past 24 hours, and 2 more people have died. As of today, 634 new cases were confirmed nationwide. 608 more patients have recovered, including 456 patients who are being treated at hospitals and 152 people being treated at home. 2 more people, women and men aged 62 and 72, died due to COVID-19 complications within the past 24 hours. Of today's new cases, all cases are of domestic transmission. 589 cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar and 45 were confirmed in the provinces. Among the 4,243 COVID-19 patients being treated at hospitals nationwide, 49.7% are showing mild symptoms of illness and 120 are in critical condition. Additionally, 1,858 patients are being treated at home. Yesterday, 55,403 people received vaccination. In total, 88.8% of target citizens of Mongolia have received the first dose of vaccination, and around 40% have received the second dose of vaccination. Health officials advise the public to not relax yet and keep following the precautionary measures and avoid going to crowded places. Around 60% of Ulaanbaatar residents live in Gir district with single-family homes and yards. If utilized well, Gir district residents have the opportunity to engage in small-scale farming and even earn income from it. One large family in the Gir district is a perfect example of how this can be done. The parents and their sons combined their 3 yards, turned their land into a vegetable farm, and are now making a living from it.
The area used by the family of Byetsanda for gardening and pickling is around 700 square meters. Here, one family plot is being used solely for vegetable gardening, and one lot is used for warehouses. Byetsanda and her husband, along with her 2 sons, live together in another lot. She notes that the whole farm is the same size as 1/3 of a single family plot.
If a family can use 1/3 of the yard for growing fruits or vegetables, which is around 100 square meters, they can make at least 1 million tugruk a year. If they grow trees and bush seedlings to sell, they can make around 10 million tugruk of profit annually.
A profit of 10 million turuk is around $3,500, which can be gained from only about 100 square meters of a family's yard. The family grows about 10 types of vegetables and 10 types of trees and bushes. They make enough income for the whole family, equal to the annual income of 3 working families. Byetsanda and her husband have been gardening for about 45 years. She is a professional agronomist, and her knowledge has been passed down to the next generation. Byetsanda hopes that all Gir district families can create income in their yards and create a greener environment.
And now let's check on the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. And here's the weather forecast for major cities around the world. Well, that's all for today. Many thanks for staying with us on News Mongolia. See you tomorrow with more stories and updates. Please follow MNB World on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great evening. Goodbye.